Well, good morning. I'm just taking a little walk this morning in downtown Boise, and I'm looking for a building that is part of a historic landmark in Idaho. Oh, I think that's it. That's the old assay office. So I brought the Mini 3 and the Mavic 3, and I think we're going to do a little video today. Gosh, what a beautiful day. Anyway, the story of the assay office is quite interesting, and I'll tell you that story as this adventure unfolds. So there it is, assay office. Wow. So the story goes that in the 1860s, a tremendous amount of gold was discovered in Idaho, places like Silver City, and I've taken you there before, and Idaho City, about 30 miles up in the mountains to the north and the east. So back in those days, the only place to smelter the gold, or the ore, and turn it into gold was in San Francisco. And that was a heck of a trip. That was hundreds, perhaps 1,000 miles. So the U.S. government commissioned for $75,000 the construction of this assay office, which was the first, aside from San Francisco, in the West. And so the miners brought their ore here where it was smelted. And this is a structure that was built for $75K, as I said, in 1870, finished in 1872. Quite a place, isn't it? Yeah, a wealthy man in Boise, dedicated this complete city block lot, and here we go. And the structure was built. On the first floor was the smelter and the assay office and the scales and all the other things that were necessary to purify the ore. On the upper story was where the assay officers had their quarters. Actually, electricity was added in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And in the basement was where the supplies and the guards that guarded this place lived. So there it is, historic marker. I'm gonna put the drone up in the air and let's explore this place. So I go out to the site to create this video that I found quite interesting, the history of Idaho and the assay office. And I've gotten my pre-authorization Lance, so I'm into Class C airspace, and I'm authorized to fly in this area. So I boot up my drone and I start my flight, and in the middle of my iPad screen was the Geofence warning. And do you think I could get that Geofence warning off my screen? The answer is no. I tried everything, and maybe it was me because it was very bright, and as you know, I do have a vision issue. But I got to figure out how to get rid of that Geofence. So I flew the drone, and that's why it's not at my usual quality, with this 2/3 or 3/4 of the screen on my iPad obliterated by this warning of the Geofence. So I spent the last week or so just kind of studying the Geofence issue, and I'm going to go back down again and see if I can solve this issue. So that's why this video is, again, not up to the quality that I prefer. So I was going to take you around and show you all the brickwork and focus in on certain things, but anyway, it is what it is, and what you see is what you get. So anyway, I'll roll the rest of the video, and I hope you enjoy it. So here's the drone flying around, and I'm peeking around the corners of my iPad like I just told you. But it was a beautiful, bright day, and there it is, the assay office. As I said, I had intentions to fly around and in those trees, and I had both the M3 and the Mini 3 Pro. So I was going to take the M3 around and with its obstacle avoidance and try to get a little more. Now, there is a carriage house in the back of this structure. I think I'll show you that in a little more detail in a minute. But at least I think it was a carriage house, a place to keep their horses, and overnight the people that brought the ore to this site to be smelted and turn into real gold. Idaho at this time was the third largest producer of gold, and again in the country, and it was Idaho Territory, but certainly contributed to the development of the state of Idaho. Darn, I wish I could have seen the whole screen. Again, I got to work on that. Beautiful city block in downtown Boise. It's been used as the U.S. Forest Service used it for a while, and now I'm not quite sure what its use is, but I think the government and the state has put it to some sort of use again. It's a beautiful building. Obviously, it's had some renovation. Look at the improved roof. So I took the GoPro and just went around the perimeter to show you the bars on the windows and protection against the potential robbers, I guess, that would come in and try to steal the gold. Must have been quite a trip to take the gold to the U.S. Mint when I think it was in San Francisco. I could be wrong about that. To add it to the coffers. Millions of dollars came out of Idaho back in the 1800s from Silver City and Idaho City and parts of Featherville, other remote areas of Idaho. This is our drone again. I was able to get it up in the air. Fortunately, I didn't crash. Yeah, I think these are... Now that plaque, hopefully you can read it, but it kind of tells the history of this building. Again, the bars on the windows. And this is the back of the building. That's the stairwell that goes down to where the guards lived, and I think that's the carriage house. At least that's what I think it is. Anyway, I think that's our trip to the assay office in Boise. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down the road.